What's good? This is probably a pay me no mind sports and entertainment short clip. Hopefully, I can keep this short. Uh, I'm trying to bring the Pay Me No Mind podcast back, get back into my entertainment stuff. I got plenty of thoughts on a lot of stuff. I've just been working on putting this live stream together, and I haven't been able to figure out a very important detail of the presentation that I'm aiming for. So the Pay Me No Mind podcast has kind of been on pause, and then I've also been doing some stuff with trying to get my bite down boxing stuff flowing. Again, trying to do the live stream there. But in the meantime, I guess I'm just looking for some smoke with the Power fans. And this is an entertainment episode or installment. But I don't have no Power fans to talk to except for my one cat at work. So I'll do it here. And I might not even get a Pay Me No Mind show might be back in about 2 weeks, realistically. Not like anybody's missed this, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, just power people, power fans, power heads, power stands, all of that, whatever. Please help me out. For the last couple of years, I have just not understood the rise of Andre Coleman. In the words of Dame Dash, I haven't seen this brother put no money up. How do you ascend to the position that this man has occupied the last season and a half of being the distro to New York City for this cartel, and you just 30 days removed from being a corner boy? I've just never understood this. Now I know he got in the game through working with Under Ghost and handling things for him, and he was able to make it appear that he was doing more than he was, or that, I guess because he was doing some drop-offs or something, or moving the stuff to the clubs and whatnot. I guess he never had to prove that he had anything. And some of my details are going to be messed up here because we are 2 weeks out since the season 5 finale. So I never understood how he got where he was. Then he gets in, and Power does what it does. None of these relationships, all of the relationships are contentious. So there's never really any trust between him and the cartel, Alicia and Diego. You got the man working for you and earning money for you and moving your product, although they wanted to expand and he couldn't deliver that. I got that much. But what trips me up as the season progressed and we get into the finale, he goes, how do you go from being what you are? I understand that some of the organization was crumbling, but how do you just flip so quickly? I guess he was in fear of being killed by Alicia or the cartel. I got another project I'm working on where I got to talk with something else about the cartel, but how do you just roll so quickly? And I guess you moving all of this weight, pushing all of this dope and these pills or whatever the drugs that he's moving, why don't you have a bag with 300K in it, 250, 500 bands? Why haven't you put anything away? You're so calculating and know all of the moves, but somewhere in the city you don't have a golden parachute. So when all of this stuff starts happening, why don't you just exit? This is what kills me with some of the urban leaning entertainment or the urban stories. Why don't you just look to leave? Get your daughter and move over to the Midwest somewhere in some town. Got a lot of cash on you and figure out a new hustle. You a New York dude that knows the streets. Why don't you just get over there and start over? But he gets jammed up into a corner And excuse me here again. Holler at me in the comments if you will. Please do subscribe to the channel and all of that. But he gets jammed up, decides to flip. Angela comes to him with very thin evidence. She's been investigating Tommy Egan. She hasn't gotten Tommy to flip in 3 or 4 seasons and knows all his business. But she comes to Dre with some little thin story. Gets him to agree to flip. He's all out of options, although he's doing well in corporate America. But anyway, another kind of crazy detail. But so he goes and gives up Alicia and his man that was his number 2. The Cristobal. That's not Cristobal, is it? I thought Cristobal was last year. But anyway, like I said, my details are a little messed up. Because I'm done with the show. I won't be back for season 6. I won't be renewing my 3 months for the show. So I'm done. But he gives them 2 up on some lame stuff. You tell them that a buy is going down. I believe he said it was a shipment or something. And all of those officers raid a hotel room or suite or whatever. So that was kind of lame to me. Maybe it was something else going on across town to where there was actual drugs. Maybe I misunderstood it. I don't know. Again, I never understand what's going on with the show. But you raid these two individuals with all of these agents. Take them off of the board. Alicia and the number 2 cat that had been made number 1. You really have no plan in place to get to re-up or get supplies, or the pipeline is all messed up. So I'm struggling here. But anyway, he proceeds to get further into it because he takes them off of the board. I guess in the finale, some goons come for him. And I had to watch this on my phone from something in Mexico because I was out of the country on vacation, and I had to hustle to try to find the finale so I could free myself from this subscription to Stars as soon as I got back. Yeah, I can't even watch the finale now I think about it. I don't even have Stars anymore. So, sorry me. But they come in there. I thought they killed his baby mama. So he's totally assed out and on the run. But he escapes that. And then the whole thing with Tommy and them through the warehouse and all of this. Okay, little shootout. He's, Jason Bourne taking out all these guys. Like I said, I'm watching on my phone. A lot of that was in the dark on my phone, so I couldn't really see what was happening. But basically, he gets forced out to the street to where my man from D.C. comes with the van. He jumps in the van. And my man from the agent from D.C., or the lawyer or whatever he is, the governor, another Fed basically, offers him a deal, and he just accepts it. Oh, he ain't had no choice to get back on the street and shoot it out with Tommy and them. So I had to have missed a lot of details, and I apologize that I'm sitting here complaining and I might not even know what had happened. But that's just I don't know what they talk about in the writer's room at Power. I listened to the After Hours Power with the Fan Bros, the For All Knows, with the Jeff Says cat. I checked out a couple of their podcasts where they made a lot of sense out of Power and tried to and had some great explanations in the panels that they had on there. But I was surprised that they never raised any questions about this type of stuff. But again, I go back to my original question. If you in the streets like this, who just ratting and giving up people, and that's how you get out of it? That's how you exit the game. But again, like I said, he was so calculating and conniving to wiggle his way up to being in charge, and does all of this smart stuff to ascend to the top of the organization and to run things and pull all these strings. And then in classic power fashion, when Courtney Kemp needs to move you around in the show and shake things up, then they make you do the simplest, you grasp for the shortest straw, and that's how they resolve problems. So I guess Dre is in Witset or whatever, or, we don't know. He did manage to make it through season 5, where we were led to believe that he might get done in season, in the season, but he made it through. And again, I just ask, where do the writers and the power team, where did they get these street dudes from? I mean, and then you tell you, oh, that's another story because I don't know those details. Again, I thought I was gonna get off of here and maybe watch the end of the finale, but I don't even think I have stars anymore. So I guess I'll part ways with the show. I tried. They did make a big move with getting rid of with Kanan exiting the show, which he has other shows in development with stars. One of them being the BMF project. So we'll see, when that actually gets produced, or when that actually arrives. But he moved on in kind of another bogus scene. I'll talk about that somewhere else. But and then obviously in the finale, Angela gets shot by Tommy, which I'm tempted to go into something else, but I just hit the a little over 10 minutes, so I won't get into that. But she's shot, Ghost calls out or yells out. But then the one thing about it that Power is not going to leave the cliffhanger out there for the entire, until the show returns. They have already come back out. I believe Courtney Kemp on her social media, whether it was Twitter or IG, she did come back out already and say that Angela will be back. So we'll see what kind of simple way they fix her being shot square in the middle of the chest. We'll see how they do that. You'll see how they do that for you fans that stick around. But I'm out. Like I said, my main question we can talk about in the comments section: where do they get these street dudes from in the series that make these types of moves? I thought it would have been just like my last comment, just like Tommy. Your whole life is wrecked. You done killed your love of your life with Holly. I said Heather in another video, but I believe it was Holly. You killed her. You've been walking around with this ring on your neck. Now you had to gun down your own father this year, so you don't have him. You've been on the run for 5 seasons. Your organization is trash. We get to the the finale before we even see Black Grimace and the organization. He ain't been to work all season. But in the last episode, he finally goes to his organization where stuff has, been happening. And he did make some reference to it that his supply chain was all jacked up and whatnot. But I guess the Serbians are still around. But like I said, again, we get all the way to the finale before we even see how the toothpaste is put in the tube or how the sausage is made. So for those of you that are toughing it out, my mom being one of the biggest fans of the show, a couple of cousins, hey, I don't understand it. But to finish that thought, Tommy, like another dude, no money to do anything, don't own anything, don't have anything, just the Mustang he been pushing around. But why wouldn't him and Keisha just say, man, we not really winning here. We need to get up out of here. Why wouldn't they just make that decision? But he's gonna hang it out. He's gonna stick it out. They'll be back. Now him and Ghost are gonna be at it once again. He been saying F Ghost for like 20 shows now, but they always get back together. So like I said, man, it's been a wild ride. But I'm getting off the ride, man. I'm getting off at the next stop. So anyway, that was just my thoughts on Andre Coleman, drug dealer, distro, club owner, getting offered jobs in Paris or France or something. I mean, amazing. So that's it. That's this Pay Me No Mind bite or bit. Again, please subscribe to the show. If you know any details, we don't have to argue about it. Just get me together in the comment sections. I'm not here to say I'm the smartest guy in the room. I just have questions. I just want to know where they hustle like this at. You know, who giving up, who ratting on one another, who talks about ratting, you know, to the feds, to their partners, and then nobody questions like, damn, he's a snitch. I forget what his number 2 is, the one brother that's always with the meme mug. But anyway, man, that's just me. I hope everybody enjoys season 5. And I'm out. Again, please hit that subscribe button. That notification thing that people ask. You don't need. I'm sure I'm not that important to where you want to look me up as soon as I do anything on here. But do that too if you want to. But let's talk about it. More stuff coming in the future. This is your man Wood. Peace.